provisioning new employees. And in this next scenario, we're going to be building on those same accounts. In our first scenario, scenario 2, we're going to be showing effects of renames. And we're going to be dealing with Susan O'Brien and Sarah Smith-Barney. Susan O'Brien is going to change her last name to Susan O'Mai, and Sarah Smith-Barney is wanting to be called by her middle name, Rene, instead of Sarah. So her preferred name is going to be passed to us from the HR file. So when we process these, the first thing that you won't notice is that we haven't renamed their user accounts. And we have found that the best practice is not to automate account renames because, for one, you have no control over when it occurs, and therefore you're not able to communicate that to the users properly. So the account names remain the same, but you'll see that the last name and therefore the full name for Susan was changed. And for Sarah, she has now changed her full name to be Rene, since full name is always going to match the person's preferred name. And if we look in the connected tree, the audit tree, again the user naming accounts are the same, but the full name has been updated for Sarah to Rene, and the last name and full name have been updated for Susan. Now if we come into Active Directory, since the naming of the accounts are based on the full name, if we refresh, we'll see that that name has changed. So in reality, the Active Directory account has been renamed. But if we examine the internals of the AD account, we'll see that the usernames still have not been changed. Now, if the user does prefer to have their user account reflect their name, that certainly is possible. And the easiest and best way to do that is to rename the account from the meta directory, which is in the identity application. So for Susan, she would go from S. O'Brien to S. O'Mai. And then if we come over to the other eDirectory tree, we can see that that has been renamed. And if we come to Active Directory, let's do a refresh just to make sure. We come to the accounts and we see that her account names have been changed in Active Directory.